Well, it's become a classic song, Don McLean's American Pie. We're going to talk about this song today. Joining me, Dr. Russ Crawford. He's a professor of history at Ohio Northern University. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so recently you were on a panel discussion because this is the 50th anniversary when this song hit the Billboard #1, which I find fascinating since it's 8 minutes and 36 seconds long. What is it about this song? You know, what did you guys talk about during this panel discussion that you had?
Well, the panel discussion was about a book we published, Dr. Ray Shuck and his son, Raymond Shuck. Do you believe in rock and roll? It was about what the song is about. And so there were as many theories about what the song was about as there were people talking. And the fascinating thing about American Pie is that it's so open to interpretation. It's an allegorical song. Some things you can say for sure, you know, Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, when they died in the plane crash, that's referenced. But there's a lot of other things that are open to interpretation. And, you know, music, songs are historical documents of a sort. And so many of the popular songs, probably the majority are, you know, either love is good or losing love is bad. But when you have a song like American Pie, it's so open to interpretation that it has a fascination of its own that people can go back to time and time again, say, no, this means that. No, you're full of it. It means something different. And you can have all sorts of good arguments about this song.
Right, yes, you can. All right. He did play at Ohio Northern University twice. So why is this, you know, is it because we can argue so much? Is that why it's so significant in our history and we celebrate it? And, you know, you hear a lot of people sing it during karaoke and, you know, it's just one of those things that we can just talk about and enjoy music?
It is. And it has so many levels that people can talk about. They focus on one thing. The thing I focused on was that this was an indication that musicians were starting to understand that the music business was a business and that they had to make sacrifices in order to be a part of that business. And so, yeah, there's so many levels of meaning in this song that, you know, we can just argue about it forever. And that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So in the book, do you believe in rock and roll? Is that what they focused on the most, about the rock and roll part and that part of the song, or?
Well, a couple of the chapters, including Ray Shuck's chapter, he was the director of the Lima or the Allen County Museum for decades. He went through line by line and explained what every line meant. And there was another one of those. Someone wrote about race in American Pie. I did the music business. So we all came at it from a number of different directions.
This song, as I had mentioned, is 8 minutes and 36 seconds long. In the music business, you can't hardly do that anymore, right?
Well, that was one chapter in itself, how we got an 8 minute and 30-second song past the A&R man, which is one of the things I referenced. Yeah, it's unusual, and you know, as we saw in the movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury, the story of how they got Bohemian Rhapsody on one of their albums was pretty fascinating. And the same with this song. And we don't hear a great deal about that. The author of that article or that chapter went back and actually counted up all the songs over 5 minutes in the 1970s. So he did quite a bit of work on there. And there weren't that many, especially not that many hit songs.
Right, yeah, exactly. So the book that you have there, can we buy that at you know, on Amazon or somewhere, or is that just for you guys to use at Ohio Northern?
No, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out there, and you know, makes great stocking stuffer for Christmas.
Or whatever other holidays coming up. Yeah, especially if someone loves that song, American Pie. It's a neat book to reference and to look at.
Yeah, and I think the reason we did the podcast, Raymond Shuck from BGSU Fireland set that up, is because it was the anniversary of the song hitting #1.
Yeah, and do you know how long did it stay at #1?
That I don't know.
Oh, I just wondered because, you know, did it hit it once and that was it for a week? But it's living on, so it doesn't really matter, right?
However long it was at #1, I had some students watching the podcast, and one of the students told me that her dad liked to listen to that song and, you know, played it over and over and over again, and still talks about it. So it's one of those songs that, you know, is still out there and still pertinent, that people love to listen to.
Right, yeah.
And I would say from personal experience, it's not a song you want to do karaoke to. Takes forever.
Yes, it does take forever. Unfortunately, my late husband loved to do that all the time, but it is a song for generations, so I think you're right with American Pie. Fun stuff. Thank you very much, Dr. Crawford, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Holly.
All right, don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.